Nick Wright was Money Baby. Brian Cox, Joel Klatt, Rob Parker in studio. Joey Taylor joining us today. Great is a really important thing. And there's very little great. There are very few great NBA players. There are very few great quarterbacks. But great creates clarity. Because you look at great and go, oh, if we draft the right quarterback, man, we're good every year. Look at the possibilities. If we get the right coach. Right now we have something very rare in the history of football. This has never happened. We have the greatest college football coach in the history of college football and the greatest NFL coach. And they're winning, dominating simultaneously. Okay? It doesn't work that way. Generally, you don't have the greatest this against the greatest that. You had Jack Nicklaus, he was done playing, then came Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? You have it doesn't work that way. You had Wilt, then he retires, and then, oh, here it comes for the next 20 years. Then it's Jabbar, then it's Shaq, and we have the best college and the best pro football coach. And Nick Saban has created clarity. Over 55 coaches in the SEC have been fired since Nick Saban arrived. Because every athletic director in the South, in the SEC, goes, well, if we get the right coach with all these great high school football players in the South, we should win 12 games a year every year. Why not? And so Nick Saban has created clarity. You get the coach right with all those great Southern high school football stars, you should absolutely vie for a national championship every year. Nick hasn't even gotten the quarterback right most years. Now, similarly in the NFL, Bill Belichick, 18 years, has created clarity. Oh, in the NFL, 20 different coaches in the AFC East alone hired, fired. Oh, if you get the coach right, I could have Matt Castle when Tom Brady gets hurt. I'd still win 11 games. Clarity. Great creates it. You compare everything to Saban, everything to Belichick, everything to LeBron. The next Saban and Belichick in the NFL right now is Sean MCVay of the LA Rams. I just saw in Vegas the first head coach to be fired list. And these guys are going to get run out of the league. Jason Garrett, Dirk Cutter, Vance Joseph, Bill O'Brien, Hugh Jackson. They're not going to last. Because Sean MCVay not only won, but it's the manner in which he won. The Rams were on Hard Knocks with Jeff Fisher. Jared Goff was their number one pick and appeared to be an absolute bust. And then Sean MCVay is hired with just one training camp. Jared Goff's first game, 21 for 29, 300 yards, and he won 46-9 in one training camp. It's not that Sean MCVay won. It's the immediacy in which he won. Sean MCVay is creating clarity for every owner in this league. How many years do I have to give Dirk Cutter, Bill O'Brien, Hugh Jackson, Vance Joseph, Jason Garrett? Well, Colin, the Rams have spent a lot of money. Oh, really? Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks. You have all those guys on your fantasy team? Do you know who Andre Whitworth was before he became a Ram? John Sullivan at center. Andrew Whitworth. Do you know who they were? Didn't have them on your fantasy team? Well, what about Todd Gurley? What about him? There's a lot of good backs in the NFL. That offense doesn't look like the Rams. Great creates clarity. Belichick, Saban, get it right, you should win every year. Sean MCVay is going to have, over the next 5 years, he is going to run guys out of this league. When he took Jared Goff from the Fisher year to now he's a potential MVP, I'm looking around if I own the Texans. How long do you need with Deshaun Watson? How long do you need? I see the kid in L.A., Sean MCVay. How many years with Deshaun Watson? Oh, he's hurt again? I'm Jerry Jones. Jason Garrett. I don't know. Goff was terrible. Now he's great. Great also eliminates excuses. And when I'm watching this Rams team, and I'm watching this offense, and I'm looking at these hot coach lists, McVay is the next guy. He's a paradigm shifter. There's just no excuses anymore. If you can take Jared Goff, what he looked like under Fisher, and make him an MVP guy the first 2 years back, there's no more excuses. If Jared Goff looked terrible, there's no more excuses. Jeff Fisher got to a Super Bowl. Can't be that bad. It's amazing what that guy's doing. By the way, there's a story out that the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't even understand this. I'll even say this. Joy, when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, wasn't their big brand, we're aggressive? That was their big brand, right?
Yes.
Like that was their thing.
Aggressive underdogs.
Fourth down, go for it, underdogs. So I see a story this morning. Philadelphia, the Eagles were reportedly calling the Bills to ask about LaShawn McCoy, the running back. Why would you think that small? Why wouldn't you go after Le'Veon Bell? Le'Veon Bell's the prize on the market. Who cares if you only get him for a year? What's the cost of another Super Bowl? I mean, I'm sorry, but how many Super Bowls does Dallas have in that division? 5? How many do the Giants have? 4? How many does Washington have? 3? Philadelphia's got 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these windows close quickly. In 2 years, you're going to have to pay Carson Wentz. You just restructured Fletcher Cox's deal. What are you doing with Shady McCoy? Le'Veon Bell's a bigger, stronger, younger, faster, better pass receiving Shady McCoy. What are you doing? Aren't you the aggressive guys? Le'Veon Bell, all-time, minimum 62 games, has averaged the most scrimmage yards per game in NFL history over Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Terrell Davis, and Walter Payton. And you worry about Shady McCoy? You got a guy in your own state. I mean, Carson Wentz has 2 years left, and you're going to have to pay him a fortune. We saw the Seahawks. The minute they had to pay Russell Wilson, window closed. You got to take advantage of what you're paying Patrick Mahomes and Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. Why do you think the Rams are backing up the Brinks truck? Because in 2 years, they're going to pay Jared Goff $30 million a year. That's why they're paying Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald. That's why they're paying, Aqib Talib and Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods and Whitworth and Sullivan and Gurley. I mean, folks, the Eagles' depth chart, they play tomorrow night against the Giants. They're relying on Wendell Smallwood and Josh Adams at running back. I'm going to go with Le'Veon Bell as a slight upgrade. I'm reading that story this morning. Philadelphia. Philly. You're aggressive. You're the go-for-it team. Who cares if you rent him? What is the price of another Super Bowl? Your offensive line's banged up. He could help solve it. Your secondary can't hold a lead. What would solve it? Ball control and offense. Philadelphia. Yap. You talk aggressive, be aggressive. Shady, go after Le'Veon Bell. Hour 2 next in L.A.